Hello and good morning, everybody. It's the beginning of the week, and however you see things is a good however you see things is a good fresh moment to start with some gratitude and love in the air, as you say, and a little humor. Start your day. Already I wake up and I'm lightened. I just want to share something to you that's really quite personal to me, which I'm always questioning what personal is. And because of social media, you know, I'm here and I'm sharing a lot on social media. And I have to say that it's one of the most profound experiences that I've given myself, because I am relating to it. And I'm relating to these talks and what I want to share and what it does for me. And what it does for me is, by putting myself out there, it was at first really scary. And even though I don't do my vlogs anymore, I don't know what will happen, because I'm living from moment to moment. And as I live from moment to moment, it's quite an extraordinary experience for me to be aware, and I'm saying to be aware of every moment in my life. And I'm doing this, and I've come to, it's like I'm meditating during the day, and I'm not on some kind of automatic response like a machine that I've learned in my conditioned mind, and my conditioned mind is really there. And I talk about this all the time because I really want to share it so much. I feel right now, I feel very passionate about sharing what I'm feeling, what I'm knowing basically, and because words can't really express. There are a lot of things. Let me take a sip of my cup of coffee, because I don't like it when it's lukewarm. And you know, this talk could be a very long time, because I'm just like, I don't know, there's something in myself that wants to defend myself from sharing my unconditional love, or my ideas about unconditional love, and all of that arises in us, or in me, because I believe that we are one. Because this journey has been journey of mine, and this role that I play here on this planet has been going on for a very, very long time. And at the moment, I'm feeling something very, very profound in my experience, and that I just want to share. And the ego mind sometimes just, you know, says funny things about me sharing. But I just want to say, like, it has been an incredible thing, and it is an incredible thing for me to do this, dedicate myself to this every day. And I know I say that, is that, you know, there's something in our existence, and there truly, truly is something in my existence that says to me that something miraculous is going on in this world, and that's consciousness. Now, you know, I had this experience when I was 5 years old, and I saw something, a premonition, I guess you would say, I saw, and it happened. So that was when I was 5, and many, many things have happened in my life thus far that has brought me to realizing something about this source, and that I co-create with. And this is something that I just want everybody to know. And you know, one can be seen as crazy, and I guess sometimes I do feel that. Or no, my mind labels it, because it just, this mind is not about who we are. And consciousness is huge. And when you bypass that mind, or you just recognize this play of this kind of monkey mind that I keep on saying, it's so up and down and round, and it's trying to get you, knocks on your door and tries to get your attention. And that little voice, I know you know this little voice in your head. That little voice is not you. It is not you, and it's not consciousness. It is a little voice. It's attached to the ego. There's nothing wrong with this voice. It's just there, and it's kind of trying to run the show. And when you've been conditioned as a little child, you start to experience firsthand conformity, but you don't realize it, because you are conditioned, and you're conditioned probably predominantly around the people who love you or not. So it's like, you know, take a look at feral children. When feral children, I skip around, but dogs who raise children who are raised by dogs behave like dogs. And that's just how this is how the human is created. This thing is created. But I believe, I've been like searching or reading material and trying to understand my feeling of synchronicity, or my experiences of synchronicity that happen constantly in my life and in my daily life. And now I feel like it is accelerating so quickly that I share, and I can't share enough in that respect of like, there is a possibility for us all to be able to recognize that we are not the conformed person that we have been subjected to with our families, with our schools, with experiences from religion, these belief-based systems that have created this ego that is part of the voice in your head. But that moment, all of this is like, all of this can be, if you take a shift, all of it can be vanished almost in an instant. And I believe, I simply believe, and I know because my life is full of incredible, remarkable experiences, and it's accelerating really fast. And I'm standing in the middle of some kind of other, I know it sounds really crazy, and that's what my ego mind says. Don't share this because people will not be able to understand it. And you know, but you have to experience it, because everything that I'm talking about is important to my experience. And when I share certain things of synchronicity that happen, I don't just, they're actually not just something to like go, oh, yeah, well, yeah, that happens to me too. You know, if you think of somebody and the phone rings, we all know these kind of things. And the phone rings, and then you think of something. Lately, I've been thinking of appointments, and either the dentist calls me or the doctor calls me to remind me of that appointment. And I've been asking, oh, I forgot what the appointment was, or whatever. And there's signs from the universe that have showed up. I have something with people. I see people in the same part of the airport, like when I go to the airport, and for some reason I'm focused on them. I'm not really conscious of why I'm focusing on them, but that person out of the whole big airport will be sitting in a row near me on the plane. And this happens to me almost every time that I go to the airport, and I forget it. You understand? I understand that it's not a conscious thing that is happening. There is something that is attracting us or attracting me, and you know, gosh, it's a very big, long subject. And so about consciousness and about the synchronicity. Synchronicity is a very big thing. You know, Carl Jung, I've read Carl Jung, and all his work, and I read something about, he coined the phrase of synchronicity. And synchronicity, he was working with a patient, he's a psychiatrist, and he was working with a patient, and in that moment she was describing a beetle that had happened to be in her dream. And I believe it was in Switzerland, I think he's Swiss. And in this moment that she was describing that beetle, a rare Egyptian beetle, in the moment that she was in his office describing that beetle, it flew into the window. It literally flew into the window. This is a classic story of synchronicity that's so profound that it's difficult to explain. And it flew into the window. So he started discovering that synchronicity is around you all the time. And when you start recognizing synchronicity is not something that the brain is making up. I believe that consciousness is around us. We are consciousness. We are the awareness. And the more and more you open your mind, the more and more you'll be able to see in your experience, and you'll experience these things. You know, I have a little experience, and I've talked about this before, but I think it's really important to listen to. Just simply because I think, you know, I believe that something is shifting in our world, and shifting consciousness is a very big, it's so big right now that it's the most important thing to understand about it is not a dire earth. We're not dying. It's not horrible by all the politics and the news that we see and everything that we read about all of that, and that we're supposed to be that we're supposed to be attached to that and believe that that's our reality. Do you like music? So corny, but it's all good because it sounds like what I'm saying is corny, but it's not corny. There is no fairy dust that I'm sprinkling here, and it's really not about that. So much that I would share, and I'm not interested at all about a reputation that I have or anything. I'm interested in co-creating with my source, and the co-creating with whatever you call the source, God, Rama, Allah, universal mind, you know, the Tao, all these things. Is that God? Tao. Anyway, I've read so much about this that because I thought I was going crazy. I mean, that's a really overstatement, but not that I was going crazy, but I started recognizing these things, and I started to understand that synchronicity is part of our experience, and that someone had coined this phrase. Someone had coined the phrase of synchronicity. So I realized as I was taking notice of all these things that were happening in my life, I started to make decisions because of synchronicity. And you know, it's not something that you share on a daily basis, because mostly what we share on a daily basis is he said, she said. The drama that is happening at home, the drama that is happening in the workplace, the drama that is happening, you know, how people are treating each other, the drama that's happening in the news, the politics, the politics, the politics, the politics. All of this is, I believe, it's like a conspiracy that's created to keep us dumb. And to keep us away from our true nature and our the true part of us that is creating worlds. Honestly, it is something that I feel so grateful to experience, that I want to share it with you. Only because, you know, and when you're not ready, you're not ready. You know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And there's so much evidence, and there's so much evidence out there of this proving what I'm saying, that it's worth recognizing or learning about. You know, start to read about, you know, read Eckhart Tolle, watch Oprah's Soul Sessions on YouTube. There's an abundance of material on YouTube about consciousness, and there are miraculous things that are happening around the world. You know, at the moment, I don't know why, but recently I've just been interested in alien life and reading about the Disclosure Project and about the Phoenix Lights and these alien contacts, and I really believe that it's really happening. And you know, there are a lot of people, and you can see there are a lot of people, incredible people, or high-ranked people that are speaking about this. The truth is and I feel very, you know, because my ego mind, and it's exactly the conformity, and it's what they have achieved in us, is to keep us dumb from our true nature. I really, really have a knowing of this, and I feel it, and I see it happening. You are not your ego. You are consciousness, and consciousness is ever expanding, and it's a huge, massive, incredibly miraculous thing. It's so miraculous that, I mean, it's so normal that it's considered miracle. That's what it is. Because we take for granted things that are happening, like remote viewing, past life regressions, past lives, reincarnation, near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences. That's all including consciousness, and it's bigger than you'd ever imagine. And you know, there are people who are skeptics, and healthy skepticism is very good. But I just want to share with you that there is, if you open your mind, it will blossom. And you will experience things that, you know, these phone calls, these things, you know, your dreams will come true. You can be and do and have anything you want. Channeling is something that I'm so interested in. I've been following channelers, especially Abraham Hicks, for a very, very long time. And it resonates with me. You know, that's what it is. It resonates. There's so many different paths. Consciousness is expanding, and what you resonate with is something that you resonate with. You know, in the beginning of my life, I was under organized religion. I happened to be going through the doors of organized religion, Southern Baptist. I was subjected to that as a child, and I adopted those belief systems because what happened to me around is it made me popular, and I conformed. And people like when you conform because they feel safer. When you conform, they feel safer. And the world beyond our government or wherever, who they are, as we feel this whole big thing, we conform to feel safer. And when you realize this in your life, and that it's like a straitjacket, and little by little you start to unravel that. And I like the metaphor of the cocoon. You are the butterfly, my friends. You are the butterfly, and that is an incredible, incredible thing to know and to accept. You are the butterfly. That's our first part of our lives. We're like in a cocoon, and we eventually break out of it because we just really simply don't want to have to keep up this charade anymore of having to be this thing that says it's all like everybody loves it. We have to take the risks to step out of our comfort zones and be the phenomenon that you are. Be the phenomenon that you are. And that is something that doesn't leave me. And I don't care, you know, I don't care fundamentally. I don't care what people think about me. And that's so exciting for me to be able to share this with you and to step out of that feeling of needing to grasp any kind of attention or to latch on to temporary feelings of success, or even temporary feelings of failure. It's all part of the thing. And you know, it's like my ego doesn't like failure, but my ego loves success, but it's all illusory. It's all passing, and everything's gonna pass. I don't care how much of a genius you are, or how you think you are a genius, and if you rely on the external, the instant, or the external gratification. I'm not saying you shouldn't be proud of yourself, but that's also something in question. Proud of yourself. There is no self. That self is created. That self is created as a child. You are created. Just look at it. You are almost like a blueprint, but there's reincarnation also too. There's so many children. There are so many cases and millions of children who are giving evidence that they have past lives, that they remember things, who they were, where they were, what planets they were living on. I don't care if you believe it or not believe it. It is there. It is there. It's out there, and we don't hear about it in the news because it's not negative enough. Because all the news is negativity. It's all about negativity, and this part of us that our darkness is attracted to that, and we like to see that. It's part of that until you let go of all of this arranged identity, that's this personality here, and that you are. I feel so passionate about it, and I want to be able to, you know, I want more and more I develop myself. I just want to be able to have the words to be able to express what I'm experiencing, and to be able to just, you know, I just have to be me. I don't have to be any other a person that needs to be validated by anybody else. It's not about this anymore for me. I'm here with that, you know, like being the best of this and this. I just want to create, and it doesn't matter. I just want to be me, and it becomes a struggle when you start to realize and peel back the onions. The metaphor of the onion is that you keep peeling something back and there's nothing there because there's nothing. That's quantum physics. Physics, the study of the particles, the tiny particles that is in objects and in ourselves. You know that we are made from the same thing that stars are made of, and that the universe is made of. It is our biological. It's the cells in our body, which change every 7 years. We are made up of the same thing. It is something at least to just take notice of even more and more and more, and recognize open your mind and recognize the synchronicity that is around you in your daily experience. Recognize when you think about a person and they send you a Facebook message that you haven't heard of from a long time, that you start to recognize these signs that are there, that are around you all the time. I have 11, and I see 11 is so ridiculously all the time that it is constantly 11, it's constantly on my phone, it's constantly around, it's constantly everywhere around me. For me, it means, this synchronicity means the world to me, and it's so little, and it's not even explainable, and you don't even have to know the reason of these signs. It's not about this right now for me, because there are signs that are happening to me, and what I do, I just take a step back, and it reaffirms to me, or confirms to me, that everything is good, and that everything is alright, and then it only takes that simple little thing, that shift of energy, the energy will change in you. The shift in consciousness, the shift that you make in your mind, that you are that's what you are. You can make the shift. The power of intention of doing that. You are that shift. It's gonna happen eventually, anyway. There's a lot to share with you about this whole path. But right now it's about 21 minutes. I've got a lot to do before my cleaner comes here. I'm back in Amsterdam. I have some time free. I'm not physically working. Next week I think I'm working. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Thank you so much for watching me, and I hope you got something out of this and to understand where I'm coming from, and I don't know, take notice. Synchronicity is all around you. It is the heartbeat of my existence at the moment, and it's accelerating really, really fast, and we are going into a whole another dimension and paradigm. And without sounding crazy, I'm willing to risk that to sound crazy, because for me it's not crazy. It is life, and it's beautiful, and it's extraordinary, and you are extraordinary, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm just so grateful, and gratitude is just the beginning of opening up your world and experiencing life at its fullest, and accelerates, and we never get it done because it's infinite. It's infinite. That source is infinite, and it's always, always, always on our side, and it's powerful, and you are powerful, and you don't have to do anything for it. I first suggest, I'll keep talking. I first suggest that you start to meditate. Meditation is bringing you to realize that your monkey mind, your conformed mind, is just that. And it's not you. Synchronicity, my friends. Synchronicity. I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and I gotta get ready. Okay, have a nice day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Ciao.